Yeah, so that's yeah, maybe we can zoom in on that. I believe that's just a dead stock of Iridogorgia.
Yeah,
And
come on in, Roland.
Probably
yes,
good enough.
yeah, so these are, oh, and there's another one of these Munidopsis, the squat lobsters. Those are
Partial.
not true lobsters. They're different than true lobsters in that their carapace or their body is flattened dorsoventrally, so from the back to the belly, so they're kind of like a squished down lobster, if you will. These are common here in the deep sea, and a lot of times you see them perched up on top of corals and sponges, and using these corals as a platform to feed. They're quite remarkable animals.
How ultimate close can you get to that branch coral just behind the white candelabra one?
I don't know. I'm at towards the end of my tether.
Okay.
Coming out, Roland.
There's a sea star bottom right under the rock.
So,
A few of them.
yeah, I do want to take another minute here to think of all of our shore-based scientists who have been wonderful and engaged. And oh yes, that's a good spot.
Super reflective. Max zoom.
So to the right is a ophiuroid, and there was a question about that earlier if we had seen any so far. So that's a brittle star, but the left one is a sea star or asteroid. And there's a couple different genera. I believe it's a Goniosterid, and there's a Ceramaster as one
Get some tether bounce here.
one genus possibly.
Video's clear.
Alright, come on out.
I can come a little lower if you want.
Yeah, you're good, Jim. It's fine.
So I don't know
way
if
out.
we've lost shore-based scientists yet, but we've been experiencing these sun fades.
Zoom in here. Have we seen this guy yet?
We saw it once, really super close. So I'd say we've got a good specimen of it.
Yeah. Up here is another one of these unbranched bamboo corals. That's going to be in the genus Bathygorgia. But we have seen at least a couple of these that are sparsely branched. And very interesting. A beautiful view here again of the steepness of the terrain, and I hope the viewers can still see the video. I think we might have lost at least the audio, but hopefully you folks can still appreciate some of these images and the spectacular terrain. And yeah, I'm quite intrigued that these walls are there's not that much life on them, and it's all just aggregated on the top. So the idea is that these walls, that's where the current comes, kind of goes against these walls and then is accelerated over it. So you would have higher currents both at the top as well as on the walls and top portions of the walls, and that's what the best habitat would be for the corals and sponges.
It's really interesting texture along the walls too. It's just made up of a bunch of pillow lavas, very small compared to the ones that we were seeing earlier. So when you get this nice sheer cliff outcrop of rocks along the volcanic flanks, you can kind of make out a lot of different morphologies. But this is just a big cliff outcrop of smaller little pillow lava toes.
Can we take a look? So there's a there's a sponge, stock sponge that's just out of view right now. It'll come into view here in a second. I mean, they're quite common here, but we haven't really gotten a close-up shot. I believe that's the one, the tall one in front of us. Yeah. Yeah, maybe if we can just zoom in on the head, so yeah, this is going to be a glass sponge, a hexactinellid sponge, and that's going to be in the genus Calophacus, and yeah, you can see there that there's quite a bit of flow there. You can see it kind of trembling there in the current.
I think that current was the prop thrust.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on in, roll.
ROV current.
And so yeah, this is Calophacus is the genus, and it's the subgenus Calodiscus. So the genus here of Calophacus is characterized by these kind of head-like structures on the head, and then depending on how those are formed, if they're smooth or a bit more textured, there's different genera. At least 3 that we knew of, but then we've also seen one that has multiple of these heads that appears to be a brand new genus. Is there a shrimp in the background? Beautiful view here of this shrimp. And yeah, unfortunately, Mary is not with us today. She's our expert on arthropods and
Drifting in on them.
Yep. Yeah, my best guess would be in the genus Labeos, and that would be in the family Thoridae, if that's in fact what it is. But arthropods and shrimp is also a pretty diverse group. And so yeah, I'm quite pleased with this dive that we've imaged quite a bit of different things and filled all of our collection quotas, and also covered some ground, and definitely made some new discoveries, and answered some questions, but posed a whole bunch of new questions. This is definitely a very complex, and that's what the Okeanos Explorer is all about, is exploration, going places to where no one has been before, seeing new things. And it's investigation that then hopefully leads to more questions and some hypotheses in the future and some follow-up work.
Ping to the bottom right of the lasers.
Oh man, there's tons of geology follow-up work that could be done here.
Can we zoom back in?
If you saw the bathymetry map of the multi-beam data that we collected earlier.
Oh, great spot. Yeah, that's an excellent spot. So that's Roland spotted that one. So that's our first stocked crinoid of today.
9 minutes. Okay.
Very small little guy.
So I'm gonna guess that this is in the family Bathycrinidae. So that's
Forward.
my best guess for that. So yeah, we have a little less than 10 minutes to go. I don't know if we've. Yeah, it looks like we've lost a few of our viewers. So we throughout these latter days of the cruise, we had these sun fades where we lose satellite reception.
Those things at the bottom, I believe, are two
And,
very small snails. Maybe not. Earlier today we saw those tumbling snails, but from a distance, if you happen to see one.
Yeah, so Andrea, sorry that we lost them, but yeah, that was our very first stalked crinoid, and Roland had spotted it just underneath a rock. And from what I could tell, the best guess is Bathycrinidae and perhaps the genus Namacocrinus. There's a dead sponge stalk, and yeah, you can really see the very dense, thick crust there on the top. Yeah, the coral right left to the lasers, small.
Yeah, so Chris, I don't know if you can see this yet, but I've noticed that almost all of the botryoidal manganese textures are on the sides and undersides of all of the rocks, while the surfaces on the upper sides that are facing up tend to be more smoothed out. I don't know if that is due to the deposition of any colloidal or dropout from the water column above, or how this function works, but this is just something that I've noticed on these manganese textures on this dive.
And so they're looking at a rock pen, and it's quite interesting because that genus Panatula, which
yeah, I'm not sure. We have one feed up, and it does look like a possible sea pen, but I'm not sure if it's a Panatula.
yeah, no, I was just gonna,
white coral that's being zoomed in on now.
I was going to comment on that, Andrea. Yeah, so it does have the alternate kind of branching, and that's different from what you see in Panatula, but so yeah,
it could be a Cophobellum species or something similar to that. We don't have it on our big screen right now.
Yeah, beautiful image. Oh yeah, it could be.
Get the full image. Okay, video's clear.
Yeah, and I agree with Andrea. So it is a rock pen.
It's definitely different than anything I've seen before. I don't know if Tina has yet to see it. Yeah, she's also agreeing with us that it's definitely not Panatula, but I mean, the Cophobellum that I've seen in the past have always been in soft substrates. I know Calabellum has been described from rocks, so I'm not sure on that genus. I don't know if anybody else can weigh in there.
Yeah, so well, the Panatula that we have here in Hawaii, then the polyps would come out at kind of opposite of the main stem, and that's definitely not. Oh, and I think Chris will really appreciate this.
Yeah, copy that now.
Yeah, so we don't have I2 feed right now, and actually no live video feed up here at the ECC.
I should ask survey, or I should watch lead to turn on the water. How do I reach,
Video's clear.
not watch lead, sorry, dive super.
What are you talking about?
Turn on the water.
The Gregory washing system.
You can try calling Dry Lab. I mean, he knows. He's probably got an idea of when we're coming up bottom.
Right.
Yeah, he was just in here.
So yeah, my best guess there is that this is a Euplectellidae, And then there would be in the genus Hylostylus, and this is something
You
we
wanna check
collected
the back
last
deck?
year. Also from one of the deeper dives we did.
It's been running just a drip, but it needs to be turned up.
Yeah, so but back to the question about that rock band, Andrea. So yeah, that was definitely. Oh, and then we're alternate the polyps the way they come off, and that's different
Zoom
from
in here, Roland.
Panachula. And
ROV Workshop, this is Copilot.
and there we have a crinoid. And this is a feather star.
Alright, we can come out, Roland.
To our left is another one of these stocked sponges. That's going to be Calophacus, and subgenus Calodiscus, multiple unbranched primnoid, and then all those tiny white spots you see in the rock. Those are all barnacles in the family Balanoidae. And yeah, quite common here. We didn't see them at the earlier phases of the dive, but and yeah, I think it's been quite a remarkable dive, and I hope
Just what we're looking for.
you have.
Now I'm just seeing the new thing that Chris added.
Oh, yeah.
I hope that you all enjoyed it
Yeah, I
as
haven't
much
gotten
as we
used to it.
did, and yeah, definitely a very, very unusual and unexpected dive. Pleasantly unexpected, yeah.
Yeah, we were really lucky to be able to find some loose rock piles to collect 2 geological samples from, which if you're looking at the screen right now, you can tell that majority of the surface of these older volcanoes that are 10, sometimes almost 100 million years old, the manganese incrustation on the surface tends to cement all of them together. So the fact that we were able to find 2 geological samples that we could get, as well as 2 biological samples from this this small and deep seamount in the middle of the Pacific, is just adds to the positivity from this dive.
Nav Survey 1.
Go ahead, Survey 1.
Yeah,
Yeah, did I hear questions about the rinser?
yeah.
I think Jim
Yeah.
just wanted to.
Then
There's a spiral in the center.
Jim just wanted
It actually
to
looks like it
let
has
you know we're
living
about to
tissue
come off
and stuff.
bottom and to turn up the water
Although
on
it may be
the
a
Okay.
crinoid.
watching
Did-
system.
Yeah, so in addition
Did
to
you get
the
through it anyone, or
samples
should I
are
head
very
down?
valuable, we
No,
also
we didn't get through it anyway.
Okay.
imaged quite a few unusual
down and,
animals,
turn it up.
and
Okay. Thanks, Carl.
Thanks, guys.
yeah, very exciting dive.
Even we're able to see some intact pillow lava flows with the core of the pillow lava
got one more
exposed, and
zoom
some
left.
beautiful
If you want to
starburst
see
radial
the information.
fractures inside of them. It's just a nice thing to see, and
Alright, Roland. Let's
very
Something good.
very good end to the
zoom on this
expedition
guy
of
right
dives
here
this
and then
time.
see what we got.
And that's looks like Iridogorgia, and yeah, that Tina agrees. And Les had earlier commented in a dive that this is very, very deep for Magnospiralis, and would be at least a depth extension if that is that species. And of course, we haven't really looked at these depths, but that's also something that we're hoping to start answering with some of these deep dives that are happening over the next 3 years. Is what are the depth distributions of some of these species, and what are the depth limits?
I think you're drifting away.
So Daniel, we're a little delayed here. We couldn't get the Internet 2 feed back up, so we're showing the Extreme feed on our main screen here.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. we're just showing here Area de Borgia on screen, and a live one. We had seen multiple skeletons, dead ones earlier, and yeah, and unfortunately we are very close to the end of the dive here. But it has been a truly remarkable dive, and I don't know if you, Chris, were as surprised as I was at the amount of life and the amount of large life we imaged during this dive.
Okay,
All right,
you're ready.
come on out, Rilla.
There you go.
All right, Jim, if you would bring up the hydraulics, please.
All right. Well, watch lead. We've reached the end of our dive time.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, pilots.
Roger
you guys
that.
did great. Thank you, and I really enjoyed it.
Yep. Thank you for everything, and I enjoyed it as well.
So yeah, pilots and navigators just giving us
Okay,
a signal
control
that
set.
we are out of time. Our final
Right,
depth
so
here
it's
is
still the lower
3,924 meters. This
So if you do the starboard one first,
we're
and you
diving
need to
off
come to the
a
right on the lower swing arm.
seamount about
Lower
200
swing arm.
miles south of Midway Atoll. It's been
Yep, and now still.
unfortunately this is also the last dive of this expedition. We now have
we
straight
bring 'em up in
transit
this
down
camera so
to
that you can see what's going on.
Kwajalein Atoll.
So
I do want to
just do the
take a
port one.
second to really thank
You gotta go
all
to
of
the
our
port
shore-based
belt path.
scientists who've been absolutely
And then to the
fantastic
left
and
on the
wonderful
lower.
and
Lower
very
swing arm.
engaged and participated. I help with IDs,
Okay.
help with planning
And
of the
then
dives, help with
still.
interpretations, and just really, really appreciative of everything. And also want to say thank you to all the
So,
viewers. And
looks
then,
like you
of
have to
course, thank you to
spin
all the
to
folks that
the
helped make
starboard,
this
I
possible.
believe.
So this ship, we had 46
I'm
people
already
here on board,
facing
so all these
after the ship.
images that
So
were brought
you
to you is really a
switch to,
collective effort of a very talented group, all working together in a coordinated,
starboard would get rid of your
synergistic way. So
Okay.
I want to thank the ROV team. Absolutely did a spectacular job. The video engineers really putting some of the most spectacular images of some of these deep water environments on the screen for everyone. We have our data and
Push
sample
out.
managers,
So
and
what I'm
of
thinking,
course also our
pilots, is,
mapping team
when I
who
get you
spent
up,
many hours
maybe about
whenever you
50
don't see
meters,
images of the
that'll
seafloor
put
when the
well
ROV is in
above
the
any
water.
local
Our mapping team
bathymetry.
is working through the night,
And there's
getting
nothing
maps that really make these dives
within a
possible and
few
help us pick
kilometers that'll be
these
in our way
sites.
if
And
we
of
head
course
in
the
the
whole
direction the
crew,
ship's heading now.
officers, and commanding officer
I'll
Mark
do
Wetzler of the
when we're ready.
Okeanos Explorer. Just
get
a
up about,
phenomenal ship to
50
work
meters,
on,
and
and
then I'll
a
start the
very
ship ahead.
dedicated and
Starting up slowly.
passionate crew.
I think
And of course, we've had a whole
Check it,
bunch
Josh,
of
I think you'll be
not
okay.
just shore-based scientists, but also shore-based
by,
crew that helps with the
coming up.
transmission and
I'm gonna
troubleshooting
stretch
and,
out,
togetting the
and
internet
then,
connections
come
all
up
put
parallel
together.
to
And so yeah, it's an enormous
All I
team. We
meant
got
was that
46
I'm gonna
people here on
wait a
the
bit before we call the
Okeanos
ship ahead.
Explorer. And then we have many more people on
Serious
shore that
effort
make
to
this whole
have that.
possible. So
Serious.
big thank you to all, and I hope you will continue watching and remaining engaged with future expeditions of the Okeanos Explorer as it goes to other places in the Pacific over the next 6 months and then of the whole next year. So yeah, big thanks, and we'll hopefully see you folks and hear
Right,
from you
I'm gonna
folks
start
in the near
ramping up.
future. So
So I should start coming out.
Yeah.
aloha.
Yep, and I would